Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. That's the true power of heaven and earth in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring in his word and truth sincerity. Lord willing, this could be an edifying video. And I was just, thinking, just scrolling on X, checking out some different articles. Plan on listening to these analysts later on, hear them explain the situation with this war. Okay. And I was just, meditating, hey, we're in the time of the downfall of the so-called white man. All right, who is Esau, Edom. Okay. And him going down means we're coming up. Okay, beginning with the elect of Israel, of course. All right. But as this man goes down, we go up. Okay. Which I'm going to get that second Esdras 6 and 9. Because that's the time we're in. And, that's why these devils, even the common devil, in his spirit, he know that he's in the end. Okay, that's why you have more Chud the Builder variants popping up. You got this other guy, which brothers did videos on him. Okay, I remember Elder Manatazakba did a video on him where he was speaking about the whole Nolan situation, the Jake that got killed by them Edomites. And he was like, yeah, we did it. He was all proud. And next thing you know, he started doing videos talking about it was satire because he got fired from his job and he can't see his kids and shit. Now he's on some Chud the Builder shit. He's going up to Jake, which they always pick and choose who they go up to. Call him the N-word, make them feel good about themselves because they see the change, man. And you Edomites, all right, it's over for you. You've been betrayed by your own. The elites don't give a damn about you. All right? You low-level devils, you're just goy, man. But I got, as you can see, it says, breaking U.S. President Trump threatens to bomb Oman if they get in the way of Strait of Hormuz deal. And then you see the Sprinter Press put this up, which I've seen, other news outlets put it up as well. The United States and Iran have agreed to extend the 60-day ceasefire. So pretty much what's going on is, and the whole world knows, that your weapon stockpile has been greatly depleted, man. All right, you're stretched thin. Your military is too stretched thin. All right, you're supporting the war in Ukraine. You're supporting the war in Iran. And then you got to be ready if China takes Taiwan. So you've just been running out of weapons. Okay? Your stockpiles is low. And now you're looking, your enemies is looking at you like, oh, yeah, we going to take advantage of this. So this nigga Esau is on his last leg, man. All right? It's only a matter of time before this economy collapses because the dollar's through, man. But I want to start off in second Esdras. Okay, well, we already know, but we're in this time, man. This second Esdras chapter 6 verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so we're in a Jakeover, man. All right? And it's at the point now where, like it says in Job, his children shall seek to please the poor. A lot of these Edomites, man, they're beginning to act like niggas, man. They say nigga. You see them fighting. They calling each other bitch ass nigga, and they're beginning to act like exactly how they describe Jake, man. They're acting like animals. Okay, which the Lord, he's beginning to put these curses on them, man. Okay, so hey, we're not in the, this ain't a good time to be a Edomite, to be a so-called white man. This is not a good time. This is not a good time to be an Edomite, man, because the Edomite is on his way out. He's on his last leg. Okay, he has no power, man. He can't even be himself. He has to be himself on the internet or a Call of Duty voice chat. Then he could be himself. He could say nigger all he want. But in the real world, they're heavily suppressed, man. Okay? Which we about to see even the common Edomite crash out, because this word, they've all heard it. And they're never the same, man. That's why you got guys like Gypsy, Crusader. This other dude I've been coming across, his name is The Handsome Truth, something like that, where all they do is sit on video all day looking for Jake so they can feel good about themselves by speaking down on them. Using the stereotypes, oh, where's your dad? Your dad's in prison, or your dad's not around. Which all of this is because of you Edomites, man. You created this system that pushes the man out of the house. And then they'll say, oh, well, where's your father? Or your father's not around. But nonetheless, we're in the end of this nigga's world, man. And reports is coming out that the Gulf nations is beginning to come to the conclusion that, hey, you know what, we got to get rid of these U.S. bases in our land, because they don't, they're losing trust on this situation, with Iran. They're losing trust in America, man, because you're beginning to be looked at as weak. Oh, that makes me think about, let me grab this, okay? Because you're beginning to be viewed as weak, and that's why the scriptures say, let the weak say, I am strong. These weaker nations are emboldened, man. They're seeing how Iran done kicked your ass. So they're like, damn, America can bleed too. They're not as invincible as we thought. So your reputation, man, you've ruined your reputation. But this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So that's how these nations are beginning to look at you. See, they viewed America as invincible, man. They viewed you as, oh man, we never want to go to war with them. No one should go to war with America. They're seeing how the Houthis ran you off. They're seeing how Iran had you pretty much begging for a ceasefire. And you signed the MOU, which is complete surrender. But what did you do? Still bombed them anyway. Now you still trying to make it seem like, you running shit. You still trying to make it seem like you the top dog. No, you're not. They whooped your ass. And they never begged for a ceasefire. They never surrendered. You done said you won the war like over 100 times already. And now you got Taylor, Marjorie Taylor Greene, finally said her name right. Reports is coming out where she was saying it, and I heard Mario speaking on it, Larry Johnson, they were speaking on it. She's saying that they're talking about using tactical nuclear weapons in Iran. We gonna see. All right, if they do use tactical nuclear weapons, hey, this is gonna be a game changer. The whole world is gonna turn against you. Which I hope they do it, but I don't think they're gonna do it. But it would be beautiful if they do. I hope they do it. Okay? But we know the MOTB has to come, so before the nuclear destruction, before these nations shoot off all their weapons, their nuclear weapons. So if they do use a tactical nuke, it may be on some shit where all these nations with nukes change their nuclear doctrine, and the economy will have to collapse immediately, man. Which is already hanging on by a thread. But anyway, jumping back to this, this is how these nations are beginning to view you. Like, you ain't as strong as we thought you were. You know, they're capturing your drones, and you know, the jets they shot down. They're taking them in. They're reverse engineering. So you ain't, you know, the prestige that you had, the fear that these nations had of going to war with you, that's gone. It says thy pomp, which means your arrogancy or your pride, is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So your arrogancy, you know, you thought that you were just it was gonna be another Venezuela operation. Now look where you at. You done fucked up going, you know, bombing Iran, man. You done got yourself into some shit you can't get out of. Okay? Like that Mossad agent, Professor Jane, he beautifully broke it down, which the comments were saying it was AI, but nonetheless, you know, he was breaking it down, man. He was like, pretty much, America is stuck in this war. You can't leave, and you can't keep fighting. But you're going to keep fighting because the Most High is going to make you keep fighting, because the Most High is against you, man. He's bringing you down. Okay? So we're in the end of this nigga's world, man. There's nothing he can do to prevent his downfall, because the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay? And the Most High, he chooses who reigns here on earth. This is Psalm 75:7. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So the Lord is putting you down. That's why all of these things are happening. Okay? And you can blame BB, you can blame the Tiny Tops, you can blame Trump, you can blame whatever, but at the end of the day, it's Yahweh Bahashim and Hawashai that's orchestrating all of this. Why? Because he's against you devils. Ezekiel 35, he is against Mount Seir, man. Modern day Mount Seir is America. Okay? So the Lord is beginning to pull Esau down from power, man. And who's ruling next? Jacob, beginning with Yahushua and King David, and the rest of the elect on down. Okay? That will be the new power in the earth. And these elites know it. Okay? That's why Esau is about the Revelation 12:12, because they're already stuck in this mess. And it's like, damn, what do we do? We can't win this war. No one is in favor of this war. Okay? So they're like, what do? We can't surrender. We can't like Trump said, he just want to win. Esau don't want to just take the L, man. Which that would be the best thing for you. But that would come with so much, you know, humiliation. And you ain't about to do that because you too proud. But guess what? Pride goeth before destruction. So we're going to see what happens, man. You know, I'm going to listen to these analysts, see what they bring out. All right. They extended the whole 60-day, but we know how Babylon gets down. They'll bomb them in the middle of this shit. So we're going to see what happens. All right, but we're in the downfall of Esau's kingdom. This nigga is on his last leg. He's hanging on by a string. All right, but Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.